Hello guys, my name is Anna and I'm a Ukrainian, and I have decided I will vlog daily from my country Ukraine since the start of this awful war with Russia. And in my daily videos I try to update you on the important real-life situations in my country Ukraine, and of course I'm always glad to answer your questions and to clarify some facts from our history, culture, background, or whatever interests you. And a typical morning, day or evening of a Ukrainian will be interrupted by scrolling of news. There are some trustworthy resources that we traditionally check every hour, every 2 hours to get the information from different corners of the country. And very often my vlogs are actually inspired by the articles and headlines that I consider important, that cause some emotions inside of me or need some explanation to a broader English-speaking audience. But today one headline inspired my bad vlog, and I know that many of you enjoy when I'm not that kind as I was before the war and as I want to be after we win Russians. So this was an article that quoted Russian press secretary Peskov, who said that Putin plans a visit to Donbass, but when the time comes. And here comes a question too. Be brave like Putin? Very often Russians like to recreate this image of their leaders, starting with Stalin, different tsars, and of course stressing it with Putin as really strong, brave people, leaders that cannot be equated to any other living political, military, intellectual leaders on the planet. And the question is, that true? Of course, the answer is obvious, it is not. Because when we look even at the history of the Second World War, we will see that the bravest Stalin was always hiding somewhere in bunker and never visited battlefields. It is a known fact and there is nothing to explain about it. But still, for the majority of the nations that were occupied by the USSR, the myth of Stalin, the winner, the only winner of the Second World War, existed and still exists in Russia. It's still very popular there, and actually it is one of the foundations for this continuing war in different post-Soviet republics that includes Ukraine in the brain of dictator Putin. But also, if we compare him, for example, to Churchill, who is definitely one of my favorite historical figures, but you may not like him, but at the same time, he was everywhere during the Second World War. He was present. He saw the reality of this ugly situation and, of course, reacted differently because he knew what the Second World War is. A very similar situation is happening right now. Putin tries to recreate this image of the gatherer of the Russian lands or the gatherer of the USSR lands. It doesn't matter, because what he wants is this empire that he returns back to life. This ugly monster that destroys life, leads to poverty, suppresses freedom and will, but at the same time collects lands that were once unlucky to be a part of the USSR or Russian Empire or anything else that was once originating or somehow connected to Moscovia. So today he has this image of a very strong leader, and many Russians who support war in Ukraine think that they have the best president on planet because he is the strongest, the bravest, the smartest, and all the other suffixes that are typical for a dictator, And when we look at the reality, it is totally different. Putin is constantly afraid. He's constantly afraid of his own people. That is the only reason why he falsifies the elections, why the system of control is so strong, why police, various services are working so hardly, and why he started this war. Also, you can never find him. You can never meet him in real life. He does not do it even for public or for media. All of his appearances are very artificial, and there are lots of videos all over internet that perhaps were even created, because he was sitting somewhere hidden in his bunker and people were edited on that video to look as if he met these people. It is a known fact that he is afraid of lots of diseases. He uses these huge tables not to come close to his interlocutors, and nobody knows where he is. He comes to some places very rarely, and these places are super, I don't know, 100 times checked, and at the same time we cannot even be sure if it's really Putin. Maybe it's his doublet or something like that. But out of conspiracy theories, let's not even consider them. The fact that he is afraid of his own people and he's afraid of people everywhere in the world is the gloomy reality of his life, and one of the reasons that fueled this war in Ukraine, because winning this war could have demonstrated him as a strong gatherer of the Russian lands. But it's not like that, because he's sitting somewhere hidden in the bunker, threatening the world and not being able to visit the battlefields. Look at Ukrainian presidents. They are not ideal. I can honestly tell you as a Ukrainian. President Poroshenko and President Zelensky both visited the very front lines. Honestly, the very front lines of this war. They have come to trenches, they have communicated with the soldiers. Sometimes these were not very wise decisions, because during war you need your president to be alive, because it's not only for the decisions but also for the symbolism of the strength and survival of the nation. But they were visiting these places, and I'm 100% sure both of these presidents, the presidents of Ukrainian war, because it's all started in 2014, they witnessed the tragedies, they witnessed the bravery and the strength of Ukrainian people. And none of Russian leaders visited Ukraine and the battlefields in Ukraine. And the same in Chechnya, in Moldova, in Georgia. They are doing it from very, very far away, hidden somewhere with this invisible, I don't know, calls that they make or some technologies that they use. Moreover, many people claim that Putin tries to dictate what his generals must do. And of course, it's total nonsense. If you dictate without seeing real battlefields, analyzing real situations, even with all the technologies, you cannot grasp this feeling. One of the reasons why I have started this vlog is the fact that only real life experience of the person living in a country at war, witnessing this, knowing the context before the war and knowing the context during the war, only this person is able to feel the situation. So how can Putin, hidden somewhere in the bunker, feel what is going on in Kherson, in Donetsk, even on those territories that are temporarily under control of Russia? He is afraid to visit them. He has never been close to his soldiers. He has never been close to the battlefields, because he is a coward. And with cowards, there is just one way to work. We have to stop listening to them. We have to stop being afraid of their threats, because it's all just an illusion. It is just I don't know, how do you call it, side effect of their paranoia. And to tell you the truth, I think that the bravery of Ukrainian people is something that will kill Putin. Not the weapons, not the, I don't know, the strength, but the bravery that demonstrate ordinary Ukrainians, small children, wives, husbands, grandmothers, people who are united in nation that turns out to be braver than Russians. Yes, I understand that Russia is a huge country, but it is a coward country, because even if they don't support their coward president, they are afraid to speak about that. They are afraid to change the regime. They are afraid to demonstrate. They are traumatized, but at the same time, they are afraid. So be brave like Ukraine and realize that Putin is a coward, hidden in a bunker, trying to recreate his paranoid ideas, but when they come into reality, they clash with the truth. They clash with the reality of Ukraine, where people are brave, with the reality of the world, where people are brave and they say no to crimes, they say no to genocide, they say no to injustice. That's why all of us, Ukrainians and allies all over the world, will win this war. And I guarantee you 1000% that Putin will never visit Ukraine. Only maybe a tiny piece of his head or something, but I'm not sure Ukrainians want to see it even in a glass box or something. They are a very weird nation, having a corpse in the center of mausoleum and having a corpse in Kremlin now, because Putin is a political, intellectual corpse that perhaps had realized that long ago, and this is his agony, his cowardness, that he tries to demonstrate as bravery. But brave people, they are not hiding. They are not destroying others because they are more free or successful. They are trying to change the situation inside their own countries. But somehow today they have this perfect tandem. Russians that are afraid of everything and Putin that is afraid of everything have announced the war to the world and normality. But of course, we will win this war, and I'm very grateful for the subscribers of my channel. If you like videos, do join the channel, as I believe people need to know more about the situation in Ukraine as this war continues. I'm very grateful for your support, for the coffees that you buy me, and for the fact that so many of you become my patrons as you help to develop the project. Go check my new video list, Soviet Myths Debunked. This is a more prepared video I'm really proud of. Let me know what you like, what you don't like. And once again, most importantly, thank you for the support of my beautiful country, Ukraine, and for being our allies during this really dark, difficult, but important and winning times. Slava Ukraini!